Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. I welcome all of you to the GATE theory session on analog circuits. We are going to continue with the topic of diodes, and in diodes now we are going to specifically discuss today voltage doubler, tripler and quadruplers. In the previous sessions we have seen clippers and clamper circuits. So let's start with now voltage doubler, tripler and quadrupler. So now the first thing is we are trying to understand what do you mean by half wave voltage doubler. So for that we need to first understand what do you mean by voltage doubler. So very simple logic to understand. If I'm having 5, I'm trying to make it as 10. If I'm having 10, I'm trying to make it as 20. So if I'm having 5 volt, I will try to make 10 volt. If I'm having 10 volt, I'll try to make 20 volt. So that is what we mean by concept of voltage doubling. A multiplier circuitry that generates a DC output voltage having amplitude twice the maximum amplitude of the AC input supply voltage is defined as voltage doubler. Now let's have a look at the circuitry. The circuitry is shown there, where we are going to have two capacitors C1 and C2 and two diodes D1 and D2. So the input applied will go to a peak value of Vm. And when you try to measure the output across the capacitor C2, you will get the value as 2 Vm. So this is all with the concept of doubling effect. You get Vo equal to 2 Vm across your capacitor C2. Now, how that entire magic is happening? It is all happening with respect to the operation of diodes D1 and D2. So in the positive half cycle, the diode D1 will be forward bias. And that's the reason the capacitor C1 will get a charge to the peak value of Vm. And during the negative half cycle, the diode D1 will be reverse biased, but D2 will be forward biased. So the capacitor C2 will get an opportunity to charge to a value of 2 Vm. It's all because of the voltage stored by the capacitor C1 and the input that will get added, and eventually will help the capacitor C2 to charge to a value of 2 Vm. So that's the magic of doubling effect. So now what do you see in this entire operation? We have observed that if I see the voltage across capacitor C1, that will be equal to Vm. But when I try to see the voltage across capacitor C2, it is twice of Vm, where Vm is the peak value of the AC input signal. And that's the effect of voltage doubling. Now we're trying to understand the concept of full wave voltage doubler. So if you see, there's a slight modification in the circuitry. The arrangement is still having two diodes D1 and D2 and the two capacitors C1 and C2. So now when we start the operation, we will have to check what will happen for the diodes and the capacitor in the independent half cycle. So here we are going to consider the positive half cycle of the AC input. And during the positive half cycle of the AC input, the diode D1 will be forward bias. So since D1 is forward bias, capacitor C1 gets an opportunity to charge to a peak value of Vm. At the same time, when I see the status of diode D2, it will be reversed. And since it is reversed, it will work like an open switch. So nothing will happen to the capacitor C2. So it's as good as only the input source, diode D1 and C1 are present in the circuitry. Whereas due to open circuit effect of diode D2, it's as good as D2C2 combination doesn't exist. Now, when I talk about the negative half cycle, during the negative half cycle of the AC input cycle, that time D1 will be reverse bias and D2 will be forward bias. And since D2 is forward bias, capacitor C2 gets an opportunity to charge. So when the capacitor charges, it will be plus on the top plate and minus on the bottom plate. The similar effect was observed when the capacitor C1 was getting charged with plus on the top and minus on the bottom. So now when I see the total effect, the voltage stored by the capacitor are in series addition. And that's the reason when I measure the total drop across the capacitors, the total drop will become 2 Vm. So it is all because of the series addition of voltages. And hence you get the output as Vm plus Vm, that gives you 2 Vm. Now if you observe the previous circuitry and this circuitry, in the previous circuitry, a single capacitor was charging to a value of 2 Vm. And in this circuitry, you can see clearly that both the capacitors are storing the same value of Vm, but the output is measured across the combination of both capacitors, and that's the reason you get the effect of doubling. So this is the major feature, or you can say difference, between a half wave voltage doubler and a full wave voltage doubler. So when I try to see the effect, you can see the output of the half wave voltage doubler and the full wave voltage doubler. You can see both the sides are given, or both the circuits are given AC signal. So when you see a variation of the output, or you can say difference of the output, both of them are actually storing the value of 2 Vm. The result is giving you a value of 2 Vm, but there will be a difference in the waveform. You can observe clearly that the full wave voltage doubler is giving you almost a triangular waveform, whereas you can see a significant change when you compare the output of full wave voltage doubler with the half wave voltage doubler. So we are extending the logic by adding one more pair of capacitor and diode, and eventually it will convert the circuitry into a voltage tripler. If you observe, the operation is almost similar to what we have discussed in the voltage doubler. So during the positive half cycle, the D1 will charge, the D1 will work like a short circuit, and the capacitor C1 will charge to a value of Vm. During the negative half cycle, the D2 will become forward bias, and then the capacitor C2 will be charging to a value of 2 Vm. And then correspondingly, when the effect continues, and then when the D3 effect will come into picture, D3, when it becomes forward bias, the capacitor will charge to a value of 2 Vm. Now why it is happening? Because the C2 contribution is 2 Vm, the input will contribute the value of Vm, and a capacitor also contributes a value of Vm. But the polarity of capacitor C1 voltage and the AC input are in series opposition. So the eventual total effect of 2 Vm plus Vm minus Vm gives you 2 Vm. And that is the reason the capacitor C3 will also charge to a value of 2 Vm. So what do we learn from this? That the first capacitor charges to a value of Vm. Later on, the capacitors pairs, if I just keep on adding a diode capacitor arrangement, every capacitor will charge to a value of 2 Vm. So now if I see the total voltage measured between the points, the highlighted points, you are getting it as 3 Vm. When you see the voltage across C2, you will get 2 Vm. Independent voltage across C1, Vm. Independent voltage across C3, 2 Vm. But when I take the output across the capacitor C1 and C3 combined, the resultant effect gives you the value of 3 Vm. So this is the way you can get the effect of voltage tripler. On similar lines, we can extend one more combination of diode and capacitor. The previous circuitry got extended. Actually, if you observe carefully, we are just adding a diode capacitor pair to generate the multiples of Vm. Earlier, there were two diode capacitor pair in voltage doubler. So the final logic gave you 2 Vm. Once you add the third pair, it gave you 3 Vm. Now we are adding the fourth pair. It gives you a logic of 4 Vm. So as and when you keep on adding the combination of diode and capacitor, the impact of multiplication for the input level will keep on extending. So this is how we can interpret the logic of voltage doubler, tripler and quadrupler. We can have an alternate arrangement for the voltage quadrupler where you can see again four diodes D1, D2, D3, D4, capacitors C1, C2 and C3, C4. They are just rearranged to give you the same result. The overall impact will definitely give you the value of 4 Vm. So in this session, we have seen how to use a diode and a capacitor to create the impact of voltage doubling, tripling, and quadrupling. Thank you.